Hello, everybody. Let me turn this mic up a little bit. Hello, everybody. Let's get into news. I'm trying to skip through it here really quick. It's really late out. I've been busy all day, and I've got to get this thing edited and get it up for you guys. Hey, please do me a favor before we get started in this video so I don't have to put a lot of crap inside the video. Wait a minute. There's something here not right. There we go. Oh, yes. Now we're looking better. I had my green screen still turned on from the WNL show we had yesterday. Hey, did you enjoy the WNL show? Did you enjoy the new game I kind of introduced to the show? If you did, leave comments below. Let me know, because I go by what you guys say is what to do, what not to do, and how to make the show a little better. Okay, glad Deb's back. Remember the contractor cut the trees down illegally over here, and the homeowners were going to be charged to pay for the whole thing and all this and that, and a big stink about it. And I said, I'd keep you up to date. Well, the contractor has been sentenced for doing that. The contractor has been sentenced in an illegal tree cutting incident in the villages Jose Luis Carvajal Ibarra. 38 was arrested earlier this year after an unlawful removal of vegetation from a protected area at Lake Deaton. Behind homes in the village of Dunedin, he was arrested on charges of scheme and defraud, criminal mischief, trespassing, and 8 counts of home solicitation without a permit. Earlier this month, Sumter County Court, Carvajal Ibarra entered a plea of no contest. He had been placed on probation for 3 years. Well, that'll do a lot. The sentence did not include restitution to the district government in the villages, which is the owner of the property where the damage was inflicted. No, they may own the property, but I guarantee the residents here will be footing the bill from some dumbass that goes out there and does what he does illegally, because when you look in the history of this guy, he's done it before. At the time the illegal cutting was discovered, the Community Development District 10 Board of Supervisors, I'm not sure they know what they're doing either. They're just a bunch of blowhards that sit in their chair behind a desk going, well, let's keep peace and order here. We'll look into that matter. We'll move that forward to the next meeting. They expressed outrage and vowed to make the perpetrators, potentially including homeowners, pay for the damage. Equally angry residents later showed up at Savannah Center to confront the CDD board over the accusations. In other words, the homeowners are going, we didn't know. He said he could do it, so we let him do it, and we paid him to do it. Now you're an accessory by doing that. You are an accessory, like it or not. So anyway, this ain't sounding good so far. An investigation by the Sumter County Sheriff's Office revealed that Cavallaro Ibarra approached the homeowners, offering to remove the cut foliage in the wet land behind their residence, charging each of the homeowners approximately $500 to more than $1,000 each. According to the resident, Carvajal Ibarra provided everyone reassurance his work was legal. You know what that word reassurance means? Trust me, I promise you. Car dealer, right? Trust me, I promise you. I can do it. It's legal. They told me I could. You're okay. I can't believe people our age falls for this crap and then tries to play dumb afterwards. In 2017, Cavallaro Ibarra was questioned in a report of illegal cutting of trees within the wildlife management area on Iron Oak Way in the village of Osceola Hills. This is another incident. When a deputy arrived on the scene, he could hear the sound of a chainsaw coming from behind a residence on the bank of Lake Deaton. Cavallaro Ibarra was identified as the owner of Florida Curb Appeal, the company for whom the other men at the site were working. Ibarra told a deputy he had been instructed by a man named Fred to cut down vines and dead trees and not to cut down any live trees. According to the incident report from the sheriff's office, he was not charged in that incident. Oh, yeah. I'm out here cutting these trees down. What was the guy's name? Fred. Fred told me to do it. Oh, God. I can't believe how they get by with this. At the time of 2017 incident, villagers were still smarting from a now infamous case of trees being chopped down to improve the view of residents in the village of Bridgeport at Lake Meona. Incident number 3. At the village of Bridgeport at Lake Meona, the mystery landscapers were never found. Yes, they was. They was. Trust me, they was. And no one publicly owned up to the arranging of the work. Javier was also arrested in 2016 on charges of possession of cocaine, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia. That big tree cutting in Bridgeport was perpetrated by them homeowners, but they all stuck to a good story of we never heard a thing. All these great big trees were cut down, hauled away, cleaned up, and they never heard a thing. First of all, I ain't falling for that. But they did not ever really catch anybody, but they were pursuing that hot and heavy. And they never was, I don't think they was really getting ahead, but they were making a lot of people nervous. So what happened was they said if a check, and I think it was like for $25,000, I think, if a check would happen to show up, I forget where it was supposed to show up at. Seriously, I do forget, but you Google it, you'll find the story back in history. If a check was to show up, like at I don't know, at an office somewhere, then that would be the end of the pursuant. They wouldn't pursue it any further. They would just figure the matter closed and take the check to use that money, I guess, to plant the trees or something. And that's what happened. So when they say they were never caught, technically, they didn't like they say, we caught you, you're under arrest. That didn't happen, no. But they kind of know who did it. Okay, now we're going to go to the second story of what I reported last week about a woman. And I said I was on her side because I guess I really shouldn't say stuff like that, but I can't help myself. You know, I do live here. I do see what goes on. And this place is not all roses and you know, ice cream. I know you guys has got the picture. And then not that this picture is wrong, but this is not all about bicycle riding, golf cart driving around, playing golf 7 days a week. That happens. And it happens here every day. But there's also crap that goes on around here. And some of it's inside government crap. And it just happens. Should be expected, I suppose. But people just don't seem to think it happens. But it does. Like I said, if I seem a little grumpy, I'm tired. The lady painted her house. Let me give a follow-up on the story. They painted her house, and she did all the right stuff. She went to ARC, which is the Architectural Review Committee. She gives her their address where they're at, because everything you do it has to blend in with the neighborhood. If all the houses in your neighborhood is basically, let's say, brown, you're not going to be able to paint your house green. It doesn't blend in. So that's what all that's about. And she went to Architectural Review Committee, and what they do is they give you a paint palette. And on that palette will be a lot of colors, a lot to choose from. And you can paint, they'll approve it. So you paint your house any one of those colors. Now, maybe I don't know if they send somebody out to actually double check it. I don't know that. Maybe they do. Maybe that's what happened in this case. But she paints her house months later after she got this color palette from them. She had to paint, blah, blah, blah. And so she has a house painted according to this color palette they give her. And then somebody said something. I don't know who. Some neighbor complained. I don't know. But it makes no difference. She did everything right. And then they come around and told her that she had to repaint her house because that color wasn't an approved color on her house. And she said, yes, it was. That's the color palette they give me. Then they tell her, oh, well, the color palette was updated and that color was taken off of the palette. And she said, well, that's the color I had when you give it to me. I'm not repainting my house. And I said, that's right. She did everything right. Nobody told her anything. So, you know, she didn't do anything wrong. And I was on her side about it. Not that my opinion means anything. It's just my opinion. I think she was right. And I don't even know the lady, but I still think she was right. So here's a follow-up for that now. The Architectural Review Committee has decided that a villager's off-palette paint job is harmonious with the neighborhood. By saying it's harmonious with the neighborhood, that means they're not going to make her paint her house. Michelle Peterson won the right Wednesday to keep the paint colors at the home she owns at, I won't give the address, that makes no difference, in the village of Sanibel. It was hard-fought victory for Peterson, who had been ordered in June to repaint her house after the Community Development District 9 Board of Supervisors determined she had strayed from the approved palette color, and she did not. Not at the time that they gave her that anyway. So good for you. Good for you, Michelle, for fighting for your rights around there. It's just a shame that government people up there are so numbnuts that they make you go through all this, because when you get to a certain age, last thing you need to do is go up and argue with people about something. By the way, District Board 9, thanks for making her do all that. I'm sure she didn't have nothing better to do but to argue with you. Went down to Finney today. Just a little side note. I'm showing friends of ours, WrestleMania and Healthy Home Cooking are down here, and they're visiting for, I think tomorrow's the last day. And we've been running around in golf carts everywhere. So we drove a golf cart from my home, which is by Brownwood, and we drove, I don't even know how far, but we went all the way down through Hawkins, St. Catherine, the Zell Recreation Center area. We went everywhere down there. We stopped at Finney. We went to a new Finney Recreation Center that's been remodeled. I haven't seen it since it was remodeled, and let them look at that. And I looked at all the different walking trails they had, because they're really interested in the walking trail area. And then we stopped at the Finney Bar and Grill, and we had a late lunch out in the outside area right there, and just had a full day. So that's kind of why I'm tired, is that. And so anyway, they're thinking about moving here in a couple of years or so, and they're just getting their feet wet, looking around in different areas to see what's what. And Sue and we're doing our best to kind of show them the areas. Tomorrow, we're going to take a golf cart ride. They got their golf cart. There's four of them, two of us. They have a 6-seat golf cart, but I'm not sitting backwards on the back seat. I'm just not doing it. So I take my golf cart and they follow me. And tomorrow we're going to go up to Lake Sumter, and we're going to park and probably walk around there, maybe take a lunch at Panera Bread. That just seems like the thing to do. And maybe go on the boardwalk, this or that. And who knows, they may even take a boat ride if they got open tomorrow, see what we're doing there. And then from there, I think we're going to take a golf cart ride, and we're going to go all the way up to Spanish Springs, and I'm going to take them over the famous golf cart bridge over 441 and 27 and go over to the historical area. That's what they call it. And kind of give them a look-see there. We won't be there very long, just kind of go in, maybe a couple of laps on a couple of roads there, and then come back out. And then after that, I'm going to show them, I don't know. We'll figure something out. Show them something around there. Maybe even take an early dinner up there. Maybe. I don't know what we're going to do. So I'll be busy all day tomorrow too. I was supposed to do a home walkthrough tomorrow with a camera and video the house. I had to call and cancel it, because I was supposed to do that today, but I knew today we was going to be doing all this. And I just told myself I can't make it. I'm sorry, because I'm busy. And so they're leaving tomorrow. And so I was going to get a video of a lifestyle home, which I've got them before, but sometimes they're a little different. So I wanted to do that, but I just couldn't, sorry. And so I won't be able to do that. And anyway, so we'll get this video here out as soon as I quit talking. WrestleMania he's been taking tons of videos when he's down here. Those of you that's not subscribed to his channel, you should. He does a great editing job. He's good at what he does. Vintage pickup truck towed away from Cody's restaurant in the Villages. Are taking it out to repaint it. Villager forced to remove AstroTurf put down by previous owner. I'm beginning to think that nobody watches my videos. I really am. I'm just thinking nobody watches it, because I reported this stuff before. Even if you're buying a pre-owned home, I see a new business starting up down here. I'm not going to do it, but let me give you an idea. You know how home inspections, once upon a time, nobody ever done that. You did your own home inspection, and if you bought it, you bought it. And if there was something wrong, you fixed it. There was no home inspection, and then that business started up, home inspections. So it's almost a common thing nowadays to hire a home inspector before you buy a house or whatever. I can see a business down here starting up. Are you listening? I 100%. To make sure that any pre-owned home that you're getting ready to buy is completely in compliance for the district rules of whatever district that house is in. Because there's so many people buying pre-owned homes, and houses here are selling like hotcakes right now. And then they're finding out after they buy it, this over here is out of compliance. That over there's got to be redone. This over here has to be moved. And people are always saying, it was there when I bought the house. It's always been there. It doesn't make no difference. Now you're the owner. You're responsible. I've said it time and time and time again. Check your deed restrictions in whatever district you're in before you sign that dotted line. A villager has been forced to remove AstroTurf put down by the previous owner of her home in Florida's friendliest hometown. By the way, that name's going to be changed soon from Florida's friendliest hometown. Let you in a little secret. They're going to change it to Florida's healthiest hometown. Suzanne Titone purchased a home. I won't give you the address. It doesn't make no difference. In the village of Sanibel in 2020. And it has a price. I don't understand that either. I don't know what the price of home's got to do with it. She bought the home from, I don't know, I don't understand all of it, but anyway, from David and Pam Sapp, who purchased the home in 2012 for, and gives up price again. I don't get it. They were the home's original owners. Titone, who still has a primary address in North at Andover, Massachusetts, was apparently unaware of the AstroTurf put down by the homeowner's previous owner. Her home was in violation of deed compliance rules, but she applied to the Architectural Review Committee seeking permission for changes that would bring the property back into compliance. Yeah, they'll work with you on that. If you're just trying to get it back into compliance and you need like an extra day or two or something like that to do it, they'll do that. I think, as a matter of fact, now because of everybody being out of material, people they are coming back to work. But let me give you guys a clue on something maybe you don't know. Now, if you buy a brand new home, don't be surprised if that new home you're buying comes with no kitchen appliances because they can't get them. I was at the village store yesterday and talking to them. If you order a brand new golf cart right now, you won't receive it for 5 months. He told me, he says sometimes even longer. They can't get the parts to build your golf cart. Rental golf carts right now, they're totally out. We got the last one and yesterday, and we had to go to I think it was Sumter Landing. They had to go probably like first thing in the morning, first one in the door. That was the only cart. They got it, and that was it. That's all they had the whole day. It's a 6-seater. The 2-seaters, I don't know. Maybe they have some. I don't think they do, because they got to keep some for people that when you buy a golf cart off the village's out of the village's golf cart store. Here's what they told me. I don't know the rules today, but I think they haven't changed that much. They guarantee you a golf for as long as you own that cart. That's what they told me. Now, that could be changed to maybe as long as you have warranty. I don't know all that. But they told me they always guaranteed I'd have a cart. So if I take my cart down to the store and have to have some kind of work done to it, and they got to keep it for a few days, they give me another cart. You're guaranteed to never be without a cart. And that's one of the main reasons why I got it, from them, is for that reason. Not too many of them will do that. So they got to keep some on hand for that. But other than that, they looked on the computer yesterday and we was looking for a cart. And I'm telling you, none. Letters to the editor. Let's get one of these out there. Here's one. To the editor, good question that Carl King has asked. Why didn't they put a food truck at Hacienda Hills Golf Course like they did at Tierra del Sol? They supposed to build apartments, pool, and a restaurant at the Hacienda Hill site. If they weren't going to do anything in the area for over 2 years, seemed like they could have left the Hacienda pool. And that was sent by Marta McKenzie, village of Della Vista North. I don't know, man. Makes sense to me. We are required by law to wear seatbelts but not masks. Do you find this strange? I do. No, there's no law that says you got to wear a mask. There's a law that says you got to wear seatbelts. That's simple. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say it. That was sent in by Margaret Bush, village of Duval. Lake County approves the village's request for a grant for a medical center. Sumpter County eliminates $1.2 million subsidy for ambulance company. Sumpter County Commissioners voted Tuesday night to eliminate $1.2 million annual subsidy for American Medical Response, which provides ambulance service to the village's areas. They're having trouble with ambulance services here, probably because of the growth. They just can't keep up with it. This company right here has been accused of many times of taking too long to get there, and they always have an excuse. You know how it goes. I can only tell you that the only experience I've ever had with ambulance services here has been with the fire department of the villages, and they're scattered around pretty good. And within, I'll say, like 3 minutes of when we called the ambulance, they were there. Within 1 minute, we heard the sirens coming. So what I actually witnessed was they did a great job, and they got the guy to Leesburg Heart Hospital from the Brownwood area. It seems to me in like, I want to say 15 minutes. It wasn't very long, because when my wife took the guy's wife to the hospital, by the time she got there with her, the patient was already in recovery, already been in surgery, already in recovery. That quick, he had a heart problem that fast. So I told Sue, I said, if I ever had a heart attack, that's where I want to go. Villager arrested after extremely intoxicated outburst at popular restaurant. A villager was arrested after an extremely intoxicated outburst at a popular restaurant. Sherry McCullough, 61, who lives in the village de Allende. Not sure where that one is. That's an older village to have that name. Village de Allende. I'll have to look that up. Was sitting in a passenger seat of a 2017 Chevy Tahoe shortly before 9 p.m. Saturday in the parking lot of Cabela's Italian Grill. I don't like that place. On Rolling Acres Plaza, when officers responded to investigate a report of a possible battery, according to an arrest report from Lady Lake Police Department. McCullough admitted she had gone into a verbal altercation with an unknown male. Unknown? Prior to leaving the restaurant. The report said she denied that the altercation was physical. Officers saw that McCullough had scratches on her knees. On her knees? But she told police she fell walking out of the restaurants. Well, if she was drunk, I could believe that. McCullough got out of the Chevy Tahoe despite being told by police to remain in the vehicle. She nearly fell when she exited the vehicle. However, she was caught by a police officer before she hit the pavement. McCullough and her companions were offered the opportunity to call for a ride due to all parties in the vehicle being too impaired to drive. Now, that's fair. He said, call somebody. I won't arrest you. That's why you're giving you a break. Call somebody. Let me see what happens. McCullough grabbed an officer by the right forearm and demanded to know, who do you think you are? Brilliant. She took a hold of the officer's arm a second time. He probably told her, don't grab me like that. She did. She was walked to the back seat of a patrol car, which further enraged oh my gosh, she's a realty executive sales representative. Then she began threatening the police officer. You are going to pay for this. Watch and see. You don't know who you are messing with. Well, I think he probably does. She then jumped toward the officer as if she was going to inflict a headbutt. That's not funny. The tirade continued en route to the Lake County Jail. "You are just a racist," she told the officer. No one would bring that up. See what I mean? They just throw that word around a lot anymore because it worked for such a long time that now they think that every time they say that, something's going to work for them. And do you get sick of that like I do? I am so sick of these whiners. She also called the officer the N-word. This is getting worse by the minute. All the facts of this story were obtained from the arrest report and public record. McCullough and her husband live at, I don't give them the address. I don't see where that makes any difference. And they paid. Who knows? Who cares? Their neighbors include Pete Wall, a former district manager for the Villages, who got entangled in a fake candidates election scandal last year. I do remember that. Reports about that, but I just don't remember what it was. I just don't remember how all of that went. Gosh, I wish I could tell you. So she was booked at the county jail, and after all that, attacking the officer once and twice, not doing what the officer told her, resisting arrest and everything else they charged her with, you know what she got? A $500 bond. That means she paid $50 out of her pocket and walked. I'm sure they kept her in jail a little bit until she kind of sobered up somewhat. Maybe not in jail, maybe handcuffed to the wall, you know. A new dementia screening shows promise at the Veterans Administration outpatient clinic in the Villages. Didn't know they had that, but I kind of like the sound of that. My dad had dementia and Alzheimer's, and I got to tell you, I have wondered: is that inherited? I mean, could I have it because of him? I don't know. His father never had it. My mom, her mom and dad never had anything like that. So you got to wonder, right? I don't know. Or is it something in our chicken? Are we eating stuff that we don't even know we're eating? Brinson's Perry Dog Park will remain closed. Rohan Recreation Center Sports Pool will be closed Friday. To the editor, when my wife and I moved to the Villages in 2009, we had a church on the square. Yes, you did. And they rang the bells like a clock. I liked it. I really did. I liked it. We had Katie Bells and Cattle Baron Club. Yes, we did. Then things started changing. First, the church on the square. Yeah, that turned into the Sharon Morse Theater. Then a Cattle Baron Club closed. Yes, it did. Then Katie Bells moved upstairs, and I wonder how much that cost. Then they closed Katie Bells, so in effect, Spanish Springs was gone. Well, more than that. Remember the original Augustine's that was on the corner right there? I love the place. And anyway, there's other things that was there. They're all gone. And except a couple, there's a few things that's still there that's been there for a long, long time. Spanish Springs really hasn't lost its appeal, I don't think, or its look, architectural look. I think that's why a lot of people like that up there because of the style. But I wonder if some of them apartment people has actually thought about something. I mean, I don't know, none of my business, but they're right across from the square. Their apartments will be right there. Have they thought about having to listen to that loud music and everything? People yelling, screaming, and when the square's gone, sometimes there's I don't know, loud cars and Harley bikes riding around town and stuff like that, making more noise. And they got to hear it. Not 1 day a week, not 4 days a week, 7 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year. I mean, I just think about that. How would you like to live next door to a guy in an apartment house, let's say, and next door he plays his TV loud every night, and you have to listen to it. And after a while, you just get sick of it, right? You want to go over and knock his block off. But you're in a high dollar apartment down there, and it's going to be high dollar. You're going to have to listen to that noise every night for as long as you're there. I just don't know if I could do that. My wife and I would go to Katie Bell's at least 3 times a week. I do know that the residents back in the day when Spanish Springs was the only square, there was nothing else, that the residents up there were very, very loyal, not only to Harold, but they were loyal to Katie Bell's and local business. And Katie Bell's at one time was a hard place to get into because it was residents only and their guests. And I've been in it many, many times, and I've ate at Cattle Barons many, many times. But I'll be honest, I can't lie to you people. I'll be honest. The cattle baron didn't have the best food at all. You could go to Texas Roadhouse and it's 10 times better. But they did have a great breakfast buffet. I will say that they did. They had a great breakfast buffet. It was just the ambiance of it. Everybody in there was a resident, and you knew it. And you had like a special club that was one of the reasons why you would buy in the villages is to have access to some of these special things that not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can have access to. And that's what was great about Katie Bell's, I think, was the camaraderie of the residents inside that building. And and that was really the one and only at that time. You would have thought they would have put a residents only building of some kind in every square. That's only 3 buildings. It's not a big deal without trying to squeeze out every little nickel and dime that you can get. But you see, in my opinion, that was the difference between Harold and now the third and somewhat fourth generation. Harold was a working guy and he liked people and he would go around and talk to people. And his best thing was, living like a millionaire on a Chevrolet budget. And that's the way he was. Now, I don't know all about Harold. I'm not a Harold guy that knows, Harold, I met him once. He seemed like a good old guy to me. The third generation and now fourth generation coming up, it's a corporation. And they're all trained as a corporation. And they make decisions from behind a desk. And they don't know who it affects. It's kind of like, a bit major corporation like, say, UPS, because I worked there. They'll make a decision in Georgia, that's where the home office is, that affects people in California, but they don't even know who them people in California are. That's kind of what this generation is doing. Now, what they're doing here is great. The designing of things, the ideas they have behind everything. I can't find a lot of fault in a lot of the idea of what they're doing. I just see a lot of how they're cheapening out on some things to do other things. And I don't know. That's a corporate decision, see? I mean, that's just the way it is. But the way the system is set up, when their decisions go bad, we as residents end up paying for it. And it's just a sore subject with me that we know. Example, I did a video. The golf cart trail south of 44, all the way down to Finney, all that. I was down there today on all the golf cart trails today, and I looked everywhere. They're not put in correctly. Now, is there a standard for golf carts? I don't think there is. I mean, what kind of road standard is there going to be for a golf cart? Nobody even knows about golf cart roads. The golf carts are made for golf courses, technically, but here they're used a lot like cars. They just are. And the golf cart roads are pretty well made, pretty good everywhere else. But for some reason, crossing 44, they decided to start putting them in cheaply, which means a few years from now, I don't know how long, I'll say 5 years from now, the big argument down there is how much is it going to cost to replace these golf cart trails or to shore them up or to resurface them or whatever they're going to have to do. But within that period of time, the developer's companies, I can't say developer, but his company is going to turn them districts over to the residents, which means he's out. And so that money's going to come out of their fees that we all pay and goes into different districts' bank accounts. And the PWAC, which we're all, like this, and they're all going to decide, well, it's going to cost $1 million. So every one of us has got to chip in some money from our accounts here that I'll have no say-so what. You'll have no say-so. It's the district supervisors and those guys are going to decide how much money we're going to pay to fix those golf cart trails down there, to fix them right. And I'm saying, while he's still in control of all that and still the owner of all that, hold his feet to the fire now. How do you make him hold his feet to his fire? I'm not a lawyer. I don't know all that. I just know there's got to be a way because that's not right. That those people down there are going to get screwed over and they don't even know it yet. It's my rant for the day. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff on here about COVID. You know how people are. They're all pointing fingers. And, well, you got to, and you should. If you don't, you're dumb. People are just, I don't know, you know, I have my opinions about it, but I don't go around, no matter what you all think of me, I don't go around and I don't yell at people and point fingers at people and all this and that. I do this. This is what I do. This is some ways that I can express myself and try to get it out. And I try to see if any of you agree or don't agree. You know, it's everybody's got their own right. Everybody's got their own ideas. I get so many nasty emails sometimes that hey, bad parking. We all like bad parking, right? Well, I don't know. I can't show it on this camera. Well, maybe I can. Oh, yeah, I can put them up. I'll put them up here. Yeah, I'll do some bad parking on here. Villager's son was evicted. Finds a new residence upon release from jail. Well, let's check this out. See if he looks familiar. That's a son? Good Lord, man. How old is your mom and dad? This guy looks like he's 80 years old. A convicted sex offender. I wouldn't let him in my house to start with. A convicted sex offender who has been evicted from his parents' home in the Villages has apparently found a new residence. David Allen Houston, 64, has been released from the Sumter County Detention Center after spending 3 months there on a charge of driving under the influence. He has lost his driver's license for a year and has been placed on probation. He was also ordered to perform 30 hours of community service. Prior to his release from jail, his parents, who are 86 and 88, had him formally evicted from their home. I'm not going to say where. Houston received legal notice of parents' legal action while he was behind bars. He had been arrested March 29th on a charge of driving under the influence after reportedly swilling vodka and driving their golf cart. People, you can't drink and drive. You never heard that before? Golf carts are no different. It was the third DUI arrest in 10 years for the Pontiac, Michigan native. Houston is a registered sex offender, having been convicted in 1990 in Michigan for criminal sexual conduct with a person under the age of 13. He now has, it almost makes me sick to read about some of these perverts. He now has a registered address at the Bushnell Trailer Court on Wall Street in Bushnell, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, which attracts sex offenders. Oh, God. At least he's gone. At least he's gone. Out of here. Fence. Remember the people I was telling you about that they've been protesting the police about this, that, and everything else? And I don't know what their arguments are or what they're protesting or anything like that. But I did defend their right to protest as long as it was done legally, like anybody else. Race has nothing to do with it. If it's done legally, they're not endangering me or they're not inciting a riot, all these things, then I said I got no problem with it because it's their right. Our country has protested since the Boston Tea Party. I mean, that's the way it works. And anyway, they call themselves the Rogue Nation. So let's see if we got an update about that. Come on. There we go. A fence. Remember I told you they was talking about putting up a fence around one of the, I don't know, police officers? No. One of the, I don't know, commissioner's office or something where employees work. They were talking about putting up a fence around the parking lot to keep these people off, I guess, the parking lot or something because they were harassing the employees. A fence to keep out Rogue Nation away from town employees in Lady Lake could cost more than $50,000. Mayor Ruth Coussard has called for the fence to be constructed in the parking lot behind the Lady Lake Police Department. My God, it's the police department. Tell them to go out there and, if they're on your property, tell them to go out there and run them off. Oh, well, got your dogs. Take the dogs out there. They don't never fight dogs. Facebook constructed behind the parking lot at Lake Police Department on Fennel Boulevard. She said the stepped up security is necessary because of the I'm getting tired. Because of the unrelenting pressure from the rogue nation, which made headlines in May when its members caused disruptions at Villages Elementary of Lady Lake and Rolling Hills Acres Road. Villager James Frederick Lewis and Sean Michael Berry of Bellevue was arrested in connection with their Rogue Nation activities around the school. The Rogue Nation members have harassed town employees who are walking to and from their cars when arriving for work or heading home. Preliminary estimates have come in for two fencing options. One option calls for 850 feet of fencing to be installed along the property boundary at a cost of $52,000. This seems a bit high to me for a fence. The second option is for 670 feet of fencing to be installed along the edge of the wooded area. That option has an estimated cost of $45,000. The commission will review the estimates before the project moves forward. Once again, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their tactics are. It sounds like if they got arrested, they've been doing something that might be a little illegal. Calm down, guys. Quit breaking the law. Quit doing stupid stuff. I just do. I'm sorry. I just do. I mean, I know it's news that you want to hear and things you want to know. And I am all about telling you the exact truth. Hey, look, I could do videos like 99 other people do around here. And it's all about fun and games. I could get my golf cart and go for it. And I have. I've got over, I don't know, 1,200 videos. I've done it all 10 times over. I could do all that and say, hey, look how fun this is. I'm having a great time. Look at the pool. We're sitting in the pool. We're drinking wine and we're having a great time. That's true. None of that's a lie. That is true. And you can have a great time. But I just found a gap where they weren't telling you, everybody wasn't telling you the truth. It's kind of like when you get the happy paper here. That's the Daily Sun. It's the happy paper because the developers companies own that. And if it's not good news in that paper, generally it doesn't get in there. So I just felt like, man, people come down here and spend $500,000 and they have no idea that the guy next door might be a sexual offender. And that's the stuff that I'm trying to let you know. Not that it'll happen. It may not happen, but it could. A lawyer is calling for the dismissal of a pornography possession charge faced by a 64-year-old resident of the Village's attorney Richard D. Connor Jr. Earlier this month in Lake County Court filed a motion to dismiss 15 felony charges of possession of obscene material against Robert Barry Kahn, who lives at 797 Clifford Court in the village of Pine Ridge. The New York native was arrested January 31st, 2020 at the Pine Ridge Pool on Moyer Loop and remains free on a $150,000 bond. Lake County Sheriff's Office Cyber Crimes Unit in 2019 executed a search warrant targeting the IP address service by Comcast at Kahn's home address. The warrant led to the seizure of Kahn's Dell Inspiron desktop computer, which was turned over to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. The computer was found to contain some disturbing images, including images of a 2-year-old female and an 8-year-old female performing oral sex on an adult male. A 6-year-old female holding a purple phallactic-like device. I don't know what that is. I'm done when it comes to this stuff. A juvenile female wearing a plaid skirt and no underwear posed in a suggestive manner. Numerous images too graphic to describe. In his motion, Kahn's attorney contends it is not certain who may have had access to Kahn's computer. Oh, I didn't do it. Somebody must have got on my computer last night and done all that. I didn't do it. I swear to you, that's not mine. How many times we heard this? That's not mine. I don't know whose that is, but it was in your pocket. I don't know how it got there. In addition, an independent forensic analysis showed that the files in question are carved files that are deleted files, which, according to the operating system and the computer user, are gone, deleted, and not accessible. The attorney also argues that Khan had no ability to view the data which he is alleged to have been knowingly possessed. A hearing on the motion is set for October 14th. Well, we'll see. If they've been deleted and they were gone, I don't know how they do that, but I mean, I guess there's a way they get in there and find stuff that you and I do that we think we deleted, but somehow it's still in there. If he bought the computer used, see, that's where you can get in trouble, I think. You buy a used computer, then the person that had it before you may have been doing some illegal stuff on here, and then you get caught with this computer for some reason or another. They find this stuff on there, then they hold you liable for it. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I mean, I don't know how you protect yourself. I just don't. I mean, I'm kind of ignorant about this stuff too. There's some things I've taught myself. There's things that I've learned. There's things that I do know, but there's a ton of things I don't know. Well, let me see if I got one more letters to the editor that looks interesting, and then I'm going to call it quits and try to get this thing edited so I can get out of here and go to bed. Oh, yeah, I'll read a couple of these things real quick. I know this news thing is probably going to suck a little bit, but you got to cut me a little bit of slack here because I've been running around for 2 days and I'm just tired. Mulberry Grove Dog Park will be closed for maintenance. Alamander Recreational Center and Family Pool will be closed Tuesday. Woman who flipped golf cart in the Villages gets a break in DUI case. Wife files for divorce from husband charged in their son's death. I mean, I will read some of that political stuff on letters to the editor, and I don't offer no comment. This is just stuff that other people are thinking, and I let you, potential villagers that's wanting to buy down here, just kind of gives you maybe a little bit of a feel about how other people think. Compare that to the way you think. To the editor, the CDC should publish hazardous warnings and recommend guidelines for both COVID Delta viruses, much the same in the same manner as the FDA publishes side effect warnings and guidelines on all prescription medications. The final decision for COVID Delta virus masking, social distancing, hand washing, traveling, shopping, etc., should be mine in the very same manner that I choose to or not to take prescription drugs. Personal use of prescription drugs and choices for combating COVID Delta should both be personal, not regulated. And that is from Jack Woods, Village of Pine Hills. And that's his opinion. To the editor, recently when asked a softball question by CNN on how to control the soaring inflation, President Joe Biden answered that by passing all his multi-trillion-dollar spending bills will reduce inflation, will reduce inflation, will reduce inflation. This is perhaps the dumbest statement ever made by someone in the Oval Office and against all economic laws. The inflation rate now is the highest since Obama was in office in 2008 and predicted to get even worse. Inflation, as most of us know, causes prices to go up because the Fed is pumping millions of made-up dollars into the economy. Just to pay for the wild dreams of some ill-advised in the government, namely Democrats. Who gets really burned by this? Not the rich and not the very poor, but the hard-working middle class and retirees. Give Joe an F- for how to handle our economy. And that was sent in by, I want to say, Geo Lynn from the village of Buttonwood. Thank you, Geo. That's it. I'm out of here. I'm going to get this thing done so I can get out of here and go to bed. Y'all have a nice time. See you later. See you on the other side.